Welcome to Employment Law This Week. I'm George Whipple. COVID made remote work a necessity, but the work-from-home trend is here to stay. Today we'll discuss how employers can protect their trade secrets through restrictive covenants in this era of remote work. With a remote workforce, one of the first issues employers must consider is which state substantive law is going to govern their restrictive covenants. Here's Epstein, Becker, Green's Millie Warner.
The general rule is that the law of the state where the employee works is going to govern. But when the employee is working remotely for an employer in a different state, all of a sudden that's not quite so straightforward anymore. What if an employee is only temporarily working from a different location? Can an employer still control the situation through choice of law and choice of forum clauses?
Millie discusses this issue in more detail on Epstein, Becker, Green's new podcast series about trade secrets and non-compete law, Spilling Secrets, available on the Employment Law This Week podcast feed. Epstein, Becker, Green's Kate Rigby gives us some insight into how courts might consider this issue.
Generally speaking, courts will look at a number of factors, including, where is the company headquartered? Where did the employee actually execute the agreement? And whether that's connected to where they're working remotely, where the employee is typically performing certain services, or whether the work they're performing actually somehow touches on a particular jurisdiction where they're living.
Employers can get out in front on many issues by creating choice of law provisions in employment contracts, designating one state's substantive law as the governing law for all of its employees. Epstein, Becker, Green's Erik Weibust says that these types of provisions are enforceable in a majority of states, with notable exceptions in Colorado, California, and Massachusetts. Courts will typically enforce forum selection clauses as well. At the start of the pandemic, many employers experienced challenges when migrating to a fully remote workforce. Many reduced security protocols to allow for increased access for employees. While most employers have recalibrated, issues still remain.
The whole remote workforce makes these things a lot more difficult in protecting trade secrets, and you do have to take reasonable measures under the DTSA or reasonable efforts under the UTSA to protect trade secrets. In my view, that's enhanced in the remote workforce. Stuff that you might not have done before, Zoom policies, inability to print from home, that kind of stuff, you may have to start implementing if you want to have a good basis for saying that you actually protected your trade secrets.
Despite all the new complications brought about by increased remote work, employers can still address issues before they become problems with proper review. The Spilling Secrets podcast digs into the many considerations for ensuring protection in this remote working era, including temporary versus mandatory forum selection clauses, exit interviews, and the threat of the unknown. Subscribe to the Employment Law This Week feed wherever you get your podcasts to hear the full audio episode and to catch all future editions of the Spilling Secrets series. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.